Welcome to the meeting of the Northfield Select Board, July 29th, 2025. Calling this meeting to order at 6:02 according to my phone. And we're going to get started. We have an appointment at 6 p.m. with All of the Above Trail Fest special permit request. And it's Amy Rusecki. Thank you. Come on up. So you guys are new, so just state your name and your purpose, and sorry, I'm already jumping in on your.
Sure, so I'm Amy Rusecki, and I submitted a special event permit, looking to hold a trail race using the trails and the space at the Northfield Recreation Area,
Yep.
Northfield Mountain Recreation Area.
Good.
So.
And you're planning on doing that on September 19th to the 20th?
Correct.
Is
The
that
event
correct?
itself would be on the 20th, and we would just use the 19th to set some things up.
Okay, great. So we have your permit. Are there any questions from the board?
No.
I have none.
I didn't have any either. All the signatures were in order. If you want, just give a little plug about what it is, because recreation and recreation tourism is very important to Northfield. So we're happy that you're here. We're happy that you submitted everything correctly. That's always a bonus, especially the first time out, because it's a long process. Why don't you just say a little bit about what the event is and when it's going to be and who participates?
Sure. So the event itself, it's on September 20th. Like I said, we're using the trails at Northfield Recreation Area. And
Is it a running event?
it's a trail running event.
Okay.
Yeah. And so there'll be a shorter kind of 5K run/hike. So you don't even have to be a trail runner to participate. And then there'll also be a longer run where it'll actually be a prediction run. So rather than the speedsters always getting to win, instead it's whomever predicts their time the fastest. We're just trying to kind of
what a great
spread the
idea.
love around a little
Okay.
bit and make it so that it's not necessarily the same people always, getting to take home a trophy.
Right.
But also just kind of, I don't know, we're just trying to have fun, be, a welcoming, inclusive space
Great.
at this event. Yeah, and we've held it a couple of times in the past. Previously, it was at a different location, but I've personally done a lot of trail running at the Northfield Trails, and I just love the space, and I'm really excited to bring it here. I think it's going to be a good fit for the space and for this event. So.
Yeah, for the area too.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
So.
I love the prediction option. I think that's fantastic. Speaking as a formerly very slow runner.
Yes.
Oh,
and I should say it's also in partnership with the Venture Out Project, which is a local nonprofit, and so they work on making the outdoor spaces more inclusive for LGBTQ and the queer community.
Okay.
And so that's our charity partner for this event.
Excellent. Have you met our Recreation Commission director too? Maybe we'll
I
put
have
you
not,
in touch.
but I would love to
Okay.
connect with them.
Okay, we'll make a note of that afterwards.
Fantastic.
Hook you up via email.
Thank you.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the All of the Above Trail Fest special permit, September 19th, 2025 through September 20th, 25, which includes setup. The event is on the 20th from 2 to 4 p.m. at 99 Millers Falls Road, the Northfield Mountain Recreation Center.
So moved. Second.
With the,
You said you weren't going to say anything.
We have
He
to.
has
I'm gonna
to.
have to.
Because he's forced to do that.
Now you're forcing
What
me
were
to
you going
say
to ask
more.
about what?
okay, who
Leave
did
it
the,
to
who did the second?
Dan.
Dan,
You
okay.
beat me to it.
And I was just going to add that it's a nonprofit,
Nonprofit.
so we would waive the fee.
Okay.
Yep, as part of that.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go.
So moved.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Thank
And
you.
I look forward to you connecting me with the Recreation Commissioner as
Yeah.
well, so that
Her
we can.
name's Stacy Bond.
Great.
And then Sandra, whom you've already met, is the one that will
Make that.
conclude the process with you.
Great.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm looking forward to coming and bringing a bunch of trail runners to this area.
Excellent, excellent.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Okay, and then we had, I don't see, is Oscar here?
Oscar?
No? Are you Oscar? Oh, okay. Okay, and then, our 6:15.
I could just give,
Oh, excellent, perfect timing.
just give a quick update on that, building maintenance.
Okay, good, please.
We
That's
do-
just so funny.
We do have a candidate who is going to accept the job. We just have not been able to work out the final offer for the appointment letter. So
Okay.
it will be at your next meeting.
Okay, great. Excellent. And Skip, where did he go? Oh,
I'm right here.
that was just so funny. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scream. I told Skip, I called him earlier, I said, come a little bit early because I think, and I looked up from the desk and like there you were like magic. So why don't you come up and we'll get this out of the way too. And then we'll move on to everything else.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Skip.
How are you?
Good.
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 So Skip, we're going to be doing, as we've done every August
Yeah.
in the last few years.
Last couple of years, yeah.
Yep. The bill that is extending Chief Donnell's appointment as the fire chief is in progress.
With the
Due
state.
to be finished sometime in September,
September.
hopefully.
Yeah.
So what we are going to do, because August 13th is the date that we need to work off of, we're going to appoint Skip as an auxiliary member effective August 13th, 2025. So I need a motion for that. To appoint Floyd M. Donnell III, otherwise known as Skip, as an auxiliary member of the fire department effective August 13th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
We're going for the fewest words used at a select board meeting.
Because it's a hot evening.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
so
That it
far
is.
I'm winning, I'm losing the race. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we got that. And we need a motion to appoint Floyd M. Donnell III, otherwise known as Skip, as administrative chief effective August 13th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
None.
Seeing none?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great.
That was quick.
Okay,
Almost painless.
Yes.
So.
almost painless.
And again,
Yeah.
thank you for your
Yeah.
service, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
My
as
pleasure.
part of this package deal,
Mhm.
we're going to appoint Michael Quinn as the acting chief of fire operations effective August 13th, 2025.
Mhm.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 There we go. Now,
Yeah.
looking ahead to recognition for service, do you want to give a shout out to all the departments who participated in the fire operation on Saturday?
On Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, because there were, if you can remember
We
all of
actually,
them.
we immediately went to a first alarm fire. We had a fire, for those that don't know, we had a fire on 129 Warwick Avenue. The resident, Kevin Griffin, had come home. He'd been away for about 2.5 hours, came home, heard the smoke detectors going. He went into the house and he had smoke laying down real low next to the floor. He couldn't really just determine where it was coming from. He went down in the basement and he came back upstairs and the smoke was still laying across the floor. He went back down in the cellar and then he opened up an access panel. Part of the structure sits on the crawl space. His front part has a full foundation, full cellar, and the back part has a crawl space. When he opened that 2-foot by 2-foot door, the crawl space was rolling with fire.
Oh, goodness.
So he called, and obviously we responded, but we immediately struck a first alarm, and that brought in our mutual aid partners. It brought in Bernardston, Irving, Gill covered our station, Hinsdale, and Turner's Falls to the scene, and it put Greenfield into the scene as a RIT team, a rapid intervention team. So in the event that there's one at every structure fire, in case a firefighter gets injured or gets trapped or whatever, there's a rapid intervention team. So Greenfield played that role. So it was a stubborn fire, and it's one that I have not ever witnessed before in my many years of fire service. The front part of the house was older. It was like maybe late 1800s.
Yes, they
the,
all
the
are for
back,
the most
yeah,
part,
and
yeah.
the back part was newer, but it was balloon construction, which can be an issue. As it was, we immediately packed up aggressively. We went in, knocked the fire down in the crawl space, had a crew on the first floor in the back, and there was a lot of heavy smoke. And once we've knocked the fire down, we can see the smoke color change. I mean, it's just a transition, but we were still getting smoke in the back part of the house. So we knew we still had something somewhere, and we checked the crawl space again. We actually put 2 firefighters in the crawl space, crawling through with a hand line, and they found a couple of hot spots, and it wasn't too bad. But the bottom line is once we couldn't find the source of the additional smoke, we used a technique. We positively pressurized the house with exhaust fans to ventilate it, but also feed the fire.
Does that, and that shows you because then
And what
it
it will do is it'll aggressively, if you have
Right.
something
Yeah.
going on, it will show itself. And it did in 3 spots. The first spot
Holy moly.
was on an interior wall to the bathroom, which was strange because usually balloon construction, you expect it to go up the outside. We had actually taken the siding off and exposed the sill and about 2 feet up all the way around the back.
Yeah, I saw that.
And there was a few little small spot fires, but not much. Anyway, we found 3 spots that were actually working their way up inside 3 different interior walls, headed for the 2nd floor.
Oh my goodness.
So we opened it up, knocked them down, and then the fire was over. But it was very labor intensive. We ended up, and it was warm.
It was a very warm day. And
So
it
it
was
was good
late
having the
afternoon.
additional departments there, and we rotated them out. You know, we used our process of operations. I was command operations, and then staging and whatnot. So we rotated people out. We tied into the water system. Water was not an issue, so we knocked the fire down and finally got. But it took us probably 35, 40 minutes to really get to the seat of what was going on. But everybody did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
And
No,
you- oh, go
I was gonna
ahead.
say, no injuries, everybody.
No injuries whatsoever. You know, and Northfield EMS was there. They were great about, you know, handing out bottled water, keeping everybody hydrated. When crews went in, did their job, worked hard with all their gear on and an air pack, they'd come out. We'd set them off to a shady spot, let them stage, let them cool down, let them hydrate. So absolutely no injuries whatsoever. So, which was a good thing. Yeah.
And then you had police blocking off. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
Warwick
police,
was
actually,
blocked.
police
Yeah.
initially blocked off Warwick Road. Highway department came out and put up signage and barricades and whatnot, so, yeah, it was, I mean, everything just flowed very well, like it usually does, but,
One of the neighbors told me you guys responded so fast she didn't hear the sirens. She said she just heard a lot of car doors slamming. So. And
Could-
looked out.
it could be, well, we don't really make a lot of noise unless we have to have somebody get out of our way. But
Yeah.
It was caused by a 220 volt circuit to the stove.
Oh, really?
Animals, whether it's mice
Chewed
or
on it?
whatever, chewed on the wires. Yeah, yeah. So it's good he came home when he did.
Oh.
But there is quite a bit of damage in that crawl space. So, but I'm working with him and his insurance company, and I did have the state fire marshal come out and just put his eyes on it. I was 99% sure what the cause was
Yeah.
because of the burn pattern and indications. And the fire marshal come out because he was the same one that came out for Main Street. He goes, I don't know why you call us. He says, you know that it's the cause of that electrical. I says, yeah. I says, I do. Because too many
check.
well, too many times they blame it on electrical, and
Yeah.
it may not be.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's all. But yeah, everything went well,
Good.
as well as can be expected, so.
Yeah, so shout out to Loaves and Fishes too, because they did a follow-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Help
yes.
them out.
Yep.
Yeah, they do a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
They
they're
really
right on
do.
top of.
They really
yeah.
do. Yeah.
the situation,
So.
like right after you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is the house inhabitable?
For now it is, yeah. We had to kill the power to it, obviously. And the electrical system will have to be restored. There was quite a bit of smoke. There was heavy smoke. There's quite a bit of smoke within the structure. And I know a company is coming in, I think it's the day after tomorrow, to start the cleaning process. And he'll have to have some rebuilding, obviously, so.
Yeah.
And he's staying locally, so. But he wanted to stay there, and I went, no, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't,
Yeah.
well, you don't wanna be
It's
in,
not healthy.
it's not healthy, it's with the contaminants and everything else with the
Right.
smoke, and it's on everything. I said, you really don't want to. And your insurance company generally will bring in a cleaning company that will start to do the cleanup process too,
Right.
so.
Oh, good.
He's got that all underway now, so.
Yeah,
In
good.
fact, I talked with him today again,
Okay.
so. I usually touch base with folks that have an issue, just periodically to make sure they got everything covered.
That's
Perfect.
nice. That's not how it worked with the last fire. I know you guys
Mhm.
always do that, but I like to bring it to the forefront so
Mhm.
people know
Yep.
that it's a community effort as well. It's not just to get in there and fix it, that you guys
Yeah.
respond as community members
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
to make sure
And
they're all set.
We always do a follow-up to make sure that
Yeah,
their I's are dotted and T's are crossed and things are moving the way they need to, so.
right,
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Now, did Winchester come down too, or was that
No,
my imagination?
No,
Okay.
no, Winchester didn't, Hinsdale did.
Hinsdale.
Oh, it was
Hinsdale,
Hinsdale.
Hinsdale,
Oh,
New
okay.
Hampshire did.
Heard them
Somebody
come
went
down.
past my house.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
Hinsdale
they
did.
came down, yeah.
Yeah.
Could hear them afterwards, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
how I know something's going on.
yeah. And I was actually down in Turner's Falls setting up for the annual fundraiser for the dive team, the lobster bake that we have down there, so I scurried
Had
back.
to
I
leave?
scurried back
Oh.
to town, so.
Yeah,
but anyway.
congratulations to
Yes.
them. I know
Yeah.
that was a big success as
Yeah,
well.
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
I think we're good.
very good,
Thanks
thank you very much.
And thanks to the fire department
Yeah.
and all the other fire departments and EMS
I will-
and police and loaves and fishes.
I will pass that along.
Fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look at my stove when I go home and, yeah.
Good idea.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
all
Skip.
right, have a good afternoon.
All right, see ya.
Yeah,
See you,
take
Skip.
care now.
Okay, we'll move up, citizens' concerns, so you guys don't, unless you'd like to sit through the rest of our meeting. It's entertaining so far, I hope. Why don't you come up and then you can introduce yourself,
Okay,
okay?
I am Bob Ziegenhagen,
Bob Siegenhagen,
Yeah.
and what's your address, Bob?
11 Linden Avenue.
Okay, and let me just explain got a little bug here. So citizens' concerns are where you get 3 minutes to just say what you need to say. And because it's not on the agenda, we can't actually respond. And sometimes people get a little frustrated with that, but it's really, we're listening. And this is the town administrator, so if there's follow-up to be done on a particular issue, as opposed to having 3 people who can only operate officially at a public meeting, so we can't officially act as select board members outside of a public meeting.
Okay.
So you get 3 minutes, and that's how we're gonna go through each person, and we're just going to listen to what's going on. And the town administrator will be taking notes on any follow-up.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
11 Linden Avenue is half a dirt road and half a paved road. We lived on the dirt road side of it, number 11. And as you come into the dirt road, there is a fairly sizable pothole that we would like to have fixed. I approached Tommy Walker on the issue, and he said, gee, he'd love to, but it's not a public road, and therefore he cannot do it. And I mentioned to him that we have a letter from the Board of Selectmen that was written in 2005, stating categorically that Linden Avenue on both sides was a public road, and therefore the road should be maintained. And Tommy said, yeah, well, that may be, but I was told that it's not a public road, so I can't help you. So I have a situation where half the town of Northfield is saying it's a public road, and the other half is saying it's not a public road, and we can't fix it, and the town can't fix it, and the pothole remains. So basically, I'd like to have some clarity I'm hoping that the board checks the records from that 205, which was, they did their own analysis back then, and gives Tommy the approval to fix the road. There is a secondary issue on this as well as in terms of winter paving. For many years, the road was plowed by the city, but recently it is not. And actually worse than that, the snow plow tends to take a load and pushes it to the very front of the dirt road portion of it, several different truckloads. So there's a good mound that makes it impossible for any vehicle, four-wheel or anything, to go down the road. This is an issue because one of the houses is a all-winter home, and people do come in there in the winter, and they have to park their car 100 yards and trek through sometimes deep snow to get to their house. Also, in our house, which is just down a bit, we're going to be doing some construction this year, and the construction crew needs access to our house, which they can't do if the city keeps treating it like a private road and they can block it. So in any event, given those issues, we would appreciate it if you guys could take a look at the issue and then provide some clarity on both the issue of road maintenance and winter plowing.
Okay. You did a great job in the 3 minutes.
Under 3 minutes.
Very nice.
A man of few words.
Okay,
Hold it, my wife says I forgot something. What did I forget, Karen?
The letter.
Oh,
oh, do you have a copy?
I do have a copy.
Oh, great. We love preparation. That's okay, I'm gonna pass mine over. There we go.
Thank you.
I think there's a second one there for Andrea.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. Okay. All right, anyone else want to speak? Bob, thank you very much
Thank you.
for an efficient use of time. Come on up.
It's almost identically the same issue.
Okay.
I am just the owner of the
So-
fourth season. My name is Rebecca Foster.
Okay, Rebecca, and what's your address? This is all, I know you
Yeah.
already gave it, but just.
4
'cause you're
Linden
on camera,
Avenue.
too.
Yeah, 4 Linden Avenue.
Yeah.
And I'm the Four Season house.
Okay,
And last winter, I asked the superintendent of highway, or whatever the official title is, to plow the road, and I was told that it was not a public road. And then I got a copy of this letter that says it is a public road. And there's also an issue with plowing. There's the one pothole that's in front of their house, but there's a second pothole just beyond, and it just is gonna, I imagine, I'm not a plower, but potholes probably aren't great for plowing. So just the repair of the roads as well as the plowing, because I use that cottage all year round.
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm 7 Linden.
7?
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
got it. Okay,
That's
see,
it.
that's why you need a village, right?
Yes, I need a village. I'm
Okay.
7 Linden. 7 Linden is the Four Season house that's on it.
Excellent. So we have the letter, we have the notes, and the town administrator is Andrea Lamas.
Perfect.
And we have your contact information with Sandra. So I think we're all set. So I appreciate you coming in and bringing
And I
this to
also
our
came
attention.
in last winter and talked to the folks downstairs, and they also assured me that it's a public road. So,
The folks downstairs.
yeah, 2 different offices downstairs, both the tax office and the front clerk, and they pulled out all the books and they went through them and they said,
Okay.
yes, it's a public road.
Okay, we'll add notes. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else for citizen concerns before we move on? No?
Oh,
Oh, okay. All right, so we have a whole group from Linden. We have all the information, and the town administrator will look into it, and we'll be in touch on next steps.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for watching your service.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. You're fitting with our theme of as few words as possible tonight. That's gonna be our mantra. Something about summer that does that. Thank you. Nice to see you again, Dottie.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to warrants. So, yeah. people.
You can take that.
You can take
Those
that.
are for your,
Online, electronically?
It is, but there's something about it in person too, yeah. And there's more downstairs. Okay. Let's see, a motion to approve the June 30th, 2025 FY25 payroll warrant of $341.49.
so moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion, can I get a motion to approve the June 30th, 2025 FY25 vendor warrant of $296,000, $235.74?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve July 23rd, 2025 payroll warrant of $91,556.94.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve July 23rd, 2025 vendor warrant of $129,535.69.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And finally, a motion to approve July 25th, 2025 payroll warrant of $1,136.41.
So moved. I don't see it here though.
Second.
It's on the second one.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and so that concludes the straddling
We're done. That's-
FY 25 and FY 26.
That's the end of
and now we're on
25.
to
We're done?
regular, okay. Great.
Fine.
We're all tidied up and caught up. Review and approval of minutes, a motion to approve the May 27th, 2025 executive session minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And motion to approve the July 8th, 2025 minutes, regular minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Great.
So
Okay.
those are someplace I can sign?
She'll have them for you.
Yep.
There.
Okay, we'll get those signed before you leave.
Sandra will get you.
Don't worry, she knows where you work.
Yeah, she'll catch up to me.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to town-owned parcels. The last time we talked about this, I'm looking at you, David, you're gonna have to speak, possibly. We got a list in our packet, and my idea was to chunk these, and so I discussed the parcels around the Parker, around the center cemetery, so Parker Ave and Great Meadow Road. I discussed those parcels with the Historical Commission as a Historical Commission member, and we're all in, the motion was to recommend to the select board to pursue putting those into some
One.
form of conservation restriction.
I think that would be an awesome idea because you really don't want people to start digging in there because isn't that the old dump?
I think 2 of the parcels are
Yeah.
old,
And a lot of it is wetlands.
yes.
Yes, so again, I don't think we should, yeah, that should be kind of off limits, put it in recreation, I think. That would be a smart thing to do.
So the only thing that I learned in doing that, I think somebody had pointed out to me, and then I spoke to Joanne McGee, who's on the Open Space
Yep.
Committee. And Joanne is also on the board of directors for the Mount Grace Land Trust.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just talked about what the feasibility of doing a conservation restriction is. So the town can't hold its own conservation restriction. It has to be given
To
to.
somebody, some group or whatever,
Right.
yeah.
And when I talked.
No owner holds their own conservation restriction.
Right, because-
Someone owns it, someone holds the restriction.
Right,
It's a policing method
right. It's a checks and balances.
to make sure that you're actually doing what the restriction says.
Right.
Someone has the authority to sort of police it, watch
Right.
over it.
So Joanne was going to take a closer look at it. The 2 of us were going to go down and take a look. But we're waiting till it's less hot and humid. I'm like, I'm not marching around down in the open sun on the fields.
The history of that particular area is very suspect. So as far as
Yes.
trying to, I don't think if you sold it, you'd run into some issues. I think that what you want to do is try to,
Well, it would put a whole buffer around
Yes.
Center Cemetery,
That's
which
true,
was
too.
was what the historical commission was concerned with. And in the process, it would take care of, is it 5 parcels?
4 at least,
No,
right?
it's 6.
Great.
It's 6
Oh, so you're
parcels.
going into that whole area.
1, 2,
Right,
3,
so
4,
some of them
5,
are small, and then there's a couple of
6.
large ones down on,
So you're looking at
Great Meadow.
possibly,
6
let's see,
parcels.
6, 12.
6 parcels
Yeah, how many
total.
acres are we talking about? You're talking
Well, they're different.
1,
0.1, 1, 6.5, 6,
Six, that's
12, 13 and a half-ish. Somewhere around there, 13 and a half acres.
Total, but they're a variety of different sizes.
Yes.
So then, when I talked to Andrea, went back and I said, here's what we were thinking, and here's the problem with doing the CR, because Joanne said her initial thought was, and again, we're just exploring options at this point, it's nothing definitive. Her thinking was that this would not necessarily be the type of CR that the trust that she works with would be wanting to do. They usually are focused in on farmlands and large swaths of farmland. So anyway, so I went back and I talked to Andrea, and you said something about, I also
There
talked
is
about
another
Perlman,
option.
who's the chair of
okay.
the
Yeah,
open space.
Open space, yeah.
And Bob said, what about, we already have the town forest, how is that held? And so Andrea did some digging.
Well, the town forest is actually held in conservation, but not this method, but,
A different method. So
Correct.
there's a different method that we
but
might be
then
able
there's
to
this
pursue.
one. There's yet another method that
Oh,
you
there's
could.
2 methods
Yeah,
that we
this is,
could?
it's not held in 97.
Okay,
But you can preserve something under Article 97 of the Massachusetts Constitution. And basically, that places the property in conservation. It's a town meeting vote. And to remove it from Article 97, if the town puts it in there, requires a special act of the Massachusetts legislature, both House and Senate, in a roll call 2/3 vote. So it's pretty hard to get it out.
you change your mind.
But the town
Yeah.
meeting you go to town meeting, and they vote to transfer the care and custody from the treasurer to the select board or the Conservation Commission, dedicating the property to Article 97 of the Articles of Amendment of the Mass Constitution. That's in there. So when it gets transferred, it goes into an Article 97 construction for conservation, and then it's done. Like the state would have to go through, you'd have to go through legislation to get it out in both the houses. So you can do it internally with a town meeting vote. You don't have to go to a conservation restriction. No one else has to hold it. It can be held by the town in Article 97.
Okay, so there's that. And then what was the other option?
Well, then there's a conservation restriction. Now, I looked pretty closely at what this town forest is in, and it appears that was voted, the town forest, not the state forest. The town forest was voted in 2010, 2009, 2010, or 2005, 2006. And basically, it was done, I think, under the brand-new legislation that was enacted at the time. I have the citation for it. It's a state law that was enacted, which ultimately became the land, as they call it, LAND capital, or park, PARC, grants. And those are a different process.
Okay.
And they, I think, purchased it through a land grant. The town actually paid for that, and they sold it by Mount Grace.
So
So the town bought that land.
then
I
sold
have
it?
it right here. No, they bought it
Bought
from
it.
Mount Grace. And so the town forest, sits
that's
in.
What
and
is
it's-
it? Where is
And
this?
so the town forest up on Old Wendell Road, that acreage, which is 150 some acreage, is the town forest is in a CR, and it's managed by the Conscom. The town of Northfield on Gulf Road owns 46 acres, which are through this process, I think they purchased through a land grant from the state, which was 60%. The town allocated the rest of the money
Oh,
at that
okay.
town meeting.
Okay.
And they purchased it through that grant, and it was moved into management by the Conscom. So it is
Interesting.
also in conservation,
So-
managed by the Conscom. So there's different mechanisms here.
So is that part, if off of Golf Road, is that where the hiking trails are?
Yeah,
Huh?
the Calvin Swan site,
Okay,
yeah.
yes, okay.
Yes, and
It's
because
one of
they,
them, it's one of the areas.
because they purchased it through that law that was passed to the care and custody of the Conservation Commission, it was dedicated by buying it through that program to conservation, to be managed by the CONSCOM.
And what part of
Because they
Old
took the
Window
road.
Road is that? That must be between Upper and Lower, someplace in there.
I'd have to look at the map. That's map 50, it's Gulf Road.
I thought you
46
said Golf
acres.
Road, but I thought you said Old Window Road too.
Old Wendell Road, there's 2 parcels up there.
Okay.
One is 123 acres, one is 23 acres. Those are in a conservation restriction. And those are managed by the CONSCOM.
Interesting.
So there's three different kind of things going on here.
The thing is, as far as that, is people are concerned with, okay, Old Wendell Road Upper, Old Wendell Road, and sometimes combining that. But if that's a land that is owned by the town or whatever, they can't do construction on there, obviously.
No, none of those are eligible for
Can
construction.
they put a road on there?
Well,
I'm just.
conservation restriction does not actually restrict any and all development
Okay.
or any and all roads. It has to be written into the restriction. I've seen people write a conservation restriction for 100 acres, but they can build one house. So it depends on what's written to the restriction. I don't think you can eliminate a public road with a conservation restriction. But the land
Well-
around it can be. Are you saying there's a road in there now?
Well, no, I mean,
You're talking about the old Wendell
at
Road.
one time, I thought there was a county road that went through there.
Well, there is a road, that section of Old Window Road that is not maintained.
Well,
But I
it's-
don't think that's part of this parcel.
Okay,
These
that's what I was
parcels.
wondering, just as.
That's a separate issue.
No, and the parcels that we're talking about on Old Wendell and Gulf are the ones that are currently owned and currently in restriction.
Yeah.
So we're just talking about those as an example. There's nothing.
Yeah, I
else
just
we-
want- I was just
wanna
curious
make
as
sure
where they
that's
were.
clear.
No,
Yeah.
they may or may not border the road you're thinking of, but they
Yeah.
are not part of the road's
Okay.
not part of the restriction.
Okay.
Okay. So.
So that is an option that if you took this to town meeting, you could do this and preserve it under Article 97.
Is that the recommended route, so to speak?
Well, I think it's the simplest to present at town meeting.
Yeah,
Well, the first thing, if you're going to go look at it and explore it a little bit, and see if it is any kind of viable land, it sounds to me that it would be more beneficial to be put into conservation protection.
yeah, that's the thinking. But the conservation restriction method would be the Article 97.
That would
Yeah.
be,
As opposed to getting a land trust to
Correct.
hold it. And then it could go to the Conservation Commission. I'm imagining, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm imagining that's where the stewardship committee came from, was to manage
Yes, the stewardship
properties.
committee manages properties that are turned over to the Conservation Commission.
Yeah,
and I think that would have been an excellent thing to do.
okay.
And
It
it
would
is
give us-
certainly the simplest
So the
to preserve it.
Historical Commission is recommending it, the Open Space and CONSCOM should take a look at it as
Correct.
well. But the thinking from the last time we talked about this whole topic was to at least take a chunk of relevant properties, find a good method of dealing with them, and then present it as its own warrant article, so then when people are voting on it, they're not voting on necessarily the whole package, they're just voting on this idea to protect the land around Center Cemetery, and it would all be Article 97 going presumably to the CONSCOM, but we can't speak for them, but that's the general thinking at this point.
Yeah. and
Okay,
that-
so just getting feedback.
Just a quick thing to let you know, the other parcels that were on that list, this is the ones
Yeah.
we're taking out, but there's a hodgepodge of other parcels on that
Right.
list. Some are very clearly the towns, that they have the deed, they have clear title. Some of the ones that showed up at town meeting, those are clear, we have the title, the lawyer has no problem with it. There are other parcels that are less clear and are.
These are all the ones that say owner unknown.
Various ones, yes.
Okay.
Owner unknown, taken by the office, different things. But they don't necessarily have a clear title. So our summer intern who's here from the department, DLS, spent about 2 weeks, his last 2 weeks, researching these
And
Oh.
DLS is the Department of,
local services. So he's been
so
doing
Department of Revenue, under Department of
under
Revenue?
Department of Revenue. So
Yeah.
he's been doing things that involve financial assessors. So this was a task under tax title to say like, hey, how would you work on these titles? He did a real deep dive into the old records. And when I say
Great.
deep dive, he was back into the 19 teens looking at property record cards. He certainly learned his way from our assessor's office around how to use the online for the Franklin County Registry of Deeds. So that was a new skill for him.
Great.
Several of these require additional work to clear the title. Some of these will require serious help from our legal as they actually have no records we can find, deed or otherwise. They simply dead end. So at some point, the town probably put them on as town property because no one can find who owns them. One or two of them he ended up finding actually who they last belonged to, that the person died, their estates were adjudicated, this property was never adjudicated because it was never discovered or it was never in their will. So there are little parcels sitting around. He did a very nice job, wrote me a little 2-page update on that. So
Okay.
we can certainly look at individual parcels, but I am going to have to take some of it probably to legal because there's a couple little tricky parcels that I think need to be dealt with again.
Questions?
What if you just leave it alone?
Well, there's a couple of parcels that they're small enough, you may never deal with, but there's a couple of parcels that are big enough to think, why would we not, a neighbor might even want them, and a butter.
Oh,
And
like, there's one on, like, 4.2 acres on
There's-
the state line.
there's several
State line, yeah.
actually up on the ridge.
Oh,
All the ones that are Crescent,
Ferncliff.
Maple, Ferncliff, the Willows,
Yeah.
that's all up in that area.
right.
Some of,
That, and 0.18 or 0.17 would make a huge difference to somebody up there.
it might, and
Yeah.
I mean, so some of these are very small, some of them are, like the one on the Willows is listed as a value of 36.2 because it's actually considered sizable enough to be a building lot.
Huh,
So it's you start to add up the value of all of this, and we're not receiving any taxes on it. They all just sit because the town owns it, but no one pays the taxes. So you start to add this up, and you get into the tens of thousands of dollar range.
Yeah, I was just going for the analysis of the attorney's fees to do all the deep dive versus
Yeah.
what's
I
the
think
property
s-
actually worth.
I think some of them, it's not worth it, some of these little tiny ones, but there's probably a couple that would
Okay.
make sense. And some of them I think are gonna never be figured out. Some of them, it might be worth to clear them up and get rid of them, because
Okay.
they'd be a little easier. So
Can
we'll
we
do a,
pop this list into a spreadsheet and group them? Like all the Parker Ave ones, those are all together, but I'm thinking,
I think what I'll do
Combine it
next,
as
since I
one?
just got this week, is you all need to take a look at the research. And you'll quickly see that some of them are not worth pursuing.
okay,
And others might very well be much more easily cleaned up. Because some of them go way back and there's no way to, and some of them, there might be some more recent records on a budding property that might actually clear up the title to them a little quicker.
so is he still digging through?
No, I think he's giving me my report. We've moved him on to another task.
Okay,
And we can look from here on.
Is he
So
here to the end of the month?
He is here till August, yeah,
Oh,
great,
through August. So
okay.
we're
So-
moving him around.
Well, let me ask the board then, are you guys comfortable on chunking the center cemetery ones and we'll, because that's a different direction than the other ones?
Yes.
Do you want us to
yeah,
move
that's what, about 13,
forward
14
on
acres?
that?
Sure.
Seems to be clean. I guess we'll find out when we go to the town.
Okay.
Is there
Uh,
anybody else that's might have an interest or may take offense to us trying to lump these things together and preserve them?
I don't know, but if we got more info, we could put up a post on the website and just say, this is what we're thinking about doing if somebody wants to. But the town dump properties, I think I would just,
I think those are those ones that are deeded to the town, those two particular pieces of property?
Yeah.
Is that what, okay, so
Yeah.
that's an acre, just a little over an acre of land.
right, I wouldn't
But
I wouldn't recommend selling those, and those are the closest to the cemetery
Yeah.
as well. So, but yeah, we could certainly put it up there and see if anybody has some questions or concerns about
if you
it.
put it up there and you do your due diligence and we put it out there, hey, if anybody object to this, come talk to us.
Right.
We'll have a night for them, we'll put it on the agenda and
Yep.
after, and they can come if
Yeah.
they feel, and then we'll present it to the taxpayers.
I just wanted to be a little bit further along in terms of next steps, so that then we could be presenting something that has a clear story to it.
Well, this seems to be more of a package than
Yeah, than the
a
others.
shotgun approach, whereas there's stuff all over the place.
Right, and the other one that kind of jumps out at me here, though, is maybe the theme tonight is the ridge, is it might make sense to chunk those ridge ones together
Yeah.
and
Well,
put
And
those
they're all in the
out.
same neighborhood.
Yeah,
The thing with the Parker Avenue ones, though, those are all touching each other. The other ones may not be, they might be here, might be there, all over the ridge.
correct, but
You mean,
I've got all the maps, you can see.
get them at, look at them as a group of properties
That could
that would
be
become
auctioned.
available
that could be
at that
auctioned off.
particular section of town.
It's
Yeah.
possible, because some of them, they have different histories, so you want to see the history, and you'll see
Yeah.
some of them might be
Yeah.
easier, more cleared up than others.
That's just a thought at
Yeah.
this point.
I like it.
Okay, I think that's it. So you're gonna distribute his
Yeah.
report?
Yeah, I think I'm going to get that
Okay.
and some
Do you wanna
stuff
put the
together.
report
for-
on a future agenda? I don't know about the next one, because I think we're gonna have quite a few appointments for that one, but we can put it on a future agenda to come back.
At least one of the agendas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely we'll circle back on the Article 97 one, and we'll just send out the report, have everybody take a look at it, and then I'll put it back on the agenda in like a couple of meetings, and then we'll look at the rest of the crew, so to speak, the rest of the parcels, and see if there's anything else worth chunking. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay,
Yes.
good. Okay, sick leave bank. This came up as an idea from an employee who wanted to donate some sick leave to another employee who was newer. So Andrea took that idea and reached out to several different small towns and large towns and came up with the sick leave bank.
Right, this is a sort of a draft for you to look at. I always bring you at least a draft policy to discuss at your first meeting before. I'm not asking you to vote on it tonight, because it's the first chance you've gotten to talk about it. We were approached by employees who wanted to donate to another employee who does not have enough paid sick time to deal with a medical family issue. So I said I can certainly look into it. Some towns have this, and it's not size dependent. Some small towns have it, and some large towns don't. It really is whether or not. And I am working with the treasurer collector on it. They were the first ones I sent it to deal with what other questions. How would we record it? How would the funding work? How do we preserve that? So that's a piece we're all working through. So I thought I'd give it to you as the select board just to get your ideas of the concept first. We would nail down all those details, and we have many of them before we would even ask you to consider instituting it. But I gave you the policy, but also kind of just gave you the bullet points on it, although it doesn't seem like a small amount of bullet points. But I didn't want to leave anything out so that you could get a chance to see what the purpose really is, and it's totally voluntary. People have to join. Anyone who doesn't want to join doesn't have to join. Sick leave is one of the things that many people in town don't use their allotment of, but when someone really needs it, they sometimes just don't have enough.
And it's also something you don't get reimbursed for when you leave.
No, when you
So
leave,
it
you
just
get
is
paid
sitting
out
there.
any vacation time, but you do not get paid any sick time. So that just goes away. So if you don't take sick time, that's fine. If you take sick time, it's budgeted into your salary. So that's was where the original idea came from. Somebody requesting it.
Questions?
So have we kind of asked the employees their thoughts about that?
I haven't gone beyond the people who asked me, and I've asked the treasurer and the accountant to just take a look, and we're working through any questions on their end. We know other towns do it, so they have the opportunity to reach out and say, hey, how do you do it? We knew we'd have to set up a spreadsheet and keep track of who would donate. Part of the policy is that you can get a list of people who've donated, but we don't give out who gave how much time. So ultimately, if you do use this, you can say, hey, who donated time? We will tell you who donated time, but not how much. So, because some people want to thank people, but we don't say, so-and-so gave 3 hours and so-and-so gave 30 hours. But it is an option for people. There is, when they join, they can donate as much as they want, but then they have to donate a certain amount every year once they've joined. They have to donate one
okay,
day.
so let me take it. I'm an employee, I want to donate, and this person doesn't, okay.
Yep.
This person that doesn't finds that they might need it.
They're not a member of the sick bank.
Okay, so if you join, you give 1 or 2 a year, whatever it is. You run out of yours, you can get
Borrow
from
from
that,
the
bar,
yes,
up
you
to a
get to
certain
borrow.
number or whatever. So you were eligible to get back what you put in or more if need be.
Or if need be.
Okay.
But if you're not a member of the sick bank, you don't
don't-
have that
yeah.
option. No. And there is a committee, a group of 3 employees who look at an application, see how much, and they can give some, and then you can come back if it's not enough. They don't have to say, oh, we think you're going to need 90 days and give it all to you. They can say, no, we're giving you X, and then if you need more, you'll have to come back. So they have a way to not just be giving months and months of time.
I think it's a great idea, because a lot of people that are very, very healthy. I never used a sick day in my life. Take that back, I did. I used a week when my daughters were born. But other than that, I've never used a sick day.
You were sick when your daughters were born?
No, I was there to help my wife.
Good family.
I was a nice person.
Okay. Just clarifying.
Okay.
Especially if she was
Did
in
you
the
just say that out
hospital.
loud?
He did that twice.
But anyway, so it's a chance for you to look at it, discuss it, ask questions before it comes back.
Any other questions?
No,
or
I
thoughts?
think that, it's a good idea. I think that you should solicit some of the employees to see what their feeling is. And I think it's a great idea. And I don't see why they wouldn't want to do this.
They might just get a question or two tomorrow while they're eating their pizza and ice cream.
That's fine.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
We have an
Unfortunately,
employee
I'll be there.
appreciation day tomorrow.
Okay.
What time is that?
12, isn't it? Around there? 1?
1.
12.
I may or may not be there.
I know.
Depends on, yeah.
Okay.
But anyway,
David, do you have any questions or comments? Or otherwise, we'll move on.
No, we can move on.
Okay. So we're gonna you're going to, in terms of next steps, just to summarize, the treasurer and the accountant are fine with the mechanism?
we're fine tuning it, but yes, we
Okay.
know there's a mechanism and we've talked about
So there might be some modifications.
on how
on
it works
they
here in
track
Northfield.
everything. Yeah. Okay, and then you're going to reach out to the employees and just kind of float the idea and see how people react to
Right.
it.
I
so
just
that
wanted to
we'll-
get the select board to think
Okay.
about it first, because it will be a personnel policy, which is the purview of the select board.
Right, exactly, and we like to act expeditiously but not too quickly on these things, so we'll be looking forward to more feedback. Okay, Millbrook Trail update, if you recall from the last meeting there, we had the letter from the Open Space Committee, the folks who steward, so to speak, the Millbrook Trail, were concerned about leftover sap lines, and we've gotten to the bottom of the mystery. And it turns out they're not removed yet, but we've identified, and it did originally start with NMH.
It
So
did,
they used to
yeah.
have buckets on the
Yeah,
trees,
yeah.
and just like up at my end of Main Street as well. And then it got turned over to a couple of enterprising youngsters associated with a local sugaring family.
Mm-hmm.
And when you reached out to Ed Snow, which was
Spoken to
the,
him several times. now.
okay, so why don't you just give us an overview of
Sure.
Ed's perspective and next steps?
So Ed certainly allowed it on his land. It was his land. All of it was his land.
Yeah,
And so he just let it continue. He didn't have a problem with it. When it got part of it got transferred over to the town, it wasn't an issue either at first, but now, because I think they're spending more time on the trails, they're beefing up the trails, they're improving the trails, and I think making more of that, including at winter time, when people are going to cross-country ski or snowmobile or whatever. I think it's cross-country ski.
yeah,
The trail, they have become more of an issue. So 2 things I want to point out is, one, the church is aware of their use, the piece that's being used by them, and they're fine with that. That's been something historical with them and continues to be. I know that was discussed. Ed said that he has notified the family, and they have been away, are back this Friday. So
Oh, they've been on vacation.
they have been
Okay.
away for a number of weeks, and they are back this Friday, and so he figures they will get on it then.
Yeah, I
Now,
don't think there's going to be any issue with him moving it
Right.
so that the trails can be used.
right, and he said, he'll follow up. If it's on his property, then, he feels he could remove it himself if he wanted to, but he would just tell them the trails need to be clear. And he's spoken with them, so there's an understanding.
So do we know where that property line is?
Well, yes, I mean, I'm not sure it's marked, but yes, in theory, we certainly do on the map. But you can probably figure, if you look at the map, there's a kind of a line, you can see where the water runs to. So if you knew it, you would be able to see it. But
Yeah,
I
'cause
think
it-
he's
It's on
on
both,
board
it's
with it
on
as well.
both sides of the Mill River, I believe, that we own, up to a certain point. The church
It
is,
follows the trail from, you can see it from Main Street,
Yep.
where the bridge is, near the post office, because I can see it when I'm driving by.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then I talked to Bob Perlman, and Bob said he can see it from the golf course side. So it follows
Oh, yeah,
the trail
yeah,
that comes up and lands in the golf parking
it goes
lot.
behind
Yeah.
the second hole.
right. And the land, if you
I'm not
look at the
familiar
map,
with
you'll
the
see,
holes.
because it shows you where like the pond area is, that's all on our
Yeah.
side. It runs along the edge of that.
Mm.
So,
So I think it's on the northern edge of our property, just on the other side of where the field is, between the church and Millbrook, and then follows that trail up to
The other
parking
question was
lot.
asked is, where's the electricity coming from?
the church,
That's the church.
The church?
And they were
they're
aware of
okay with
that.
that?
they
Yeah.
are aware of that,
Oh, okay.
yes.
But that's
And
all
there's been
gonna
a-
be removed, right?
The
Is it gonna be-
electrical?
Well, Ed said,
Well, I don't know
No,
anything about the
Ed- no,
electrical.
no,
The
Ed-
electrical
I
is,
talked to-
we're trying to unblock the trail
Yeah.
from any.
right,
I talked to Ed too, and
Yeah.
he had talked to the owner about moving the lines off the trail.
Yes,
And I don't see there's a reason for them not to be able to sugar in there, unless we worry about a liability if someone
No.
was on the trail. No liability? Okay,
I wouldn't worry about that. If they're, I
Yeah.
think that's not an issue.
no.
I think it's
So
just
I-
moving it so
I
that
think now
people
that
can-
the owner is aware, or the person that's doing it is aware of it, they will move them to comply so that they can run the trails.
or remove them.
That's up
right?
to them.
Well, they can move them and not go across where the trails are. And that's maybe where the people who are working on trails might want to define the trails. They're pretty easy, I know where they were, but they've overgrown a little bit because of not being used. So-
Okay. So you guys are comfortable with, I just want to make sure we're clear, because my understanding was that we were asking for them to be removed.
Be removed from town property.
Yeah.
I'm
Then
not
they're
sure
getting a
that was
financial
asked.
I just
gain.
want to make
asked-
sure we're in
The
sync.
first thing I was told is
Oh.
accessibility was the issue. We needed to
Right,
get the
that's
trails
true.
accessible. If you guys want to vote to have them removed from town property, that's another discussion. I don't think the instruction I got was quite that clear. We wanted them removed we wanted to make the trails accessible.
Correct.
That was the number one priority.
That's what I thought too, so.
That's the-
Maybe
just
we
I
have to have another discussion as far as whether we want to have them completely removed, but
Well, the point was also raised at the time that someone's getting a financial gain on town property.
I'm not sure they're going to retire on that.
That was raised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people said, well, and there's a historical use for it. So I think that's a discussion you would have, how you guys feel about that, what you decide.
Yeah, how do you get permission to use public land for your gain?
Yeah, I
Do
think
you guys
historic.
want to do SAP permits? That's
SAP
basically what
permits.
we're
As
talking.
long as it's discussed, I'm fine with it, but that was raised in that letter.
yeah.
No, I don't think it was in the letter. I think it was raised at the meeting.
No, it was raised by Sarah. Yeah.
I think they were.
Could've
The
been,
letter was
okay.
concerned about accessibility.
Well,
The letter was.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest one was the electrical issues, and,
That was her
yeah.
as
Yep.
well. So that's an issue that.
That's
you
a
know,
So
church
two,
issue,
two
right?
things we got going on.
Yeah, that's a church issue.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
so initially, we do want the trails clear because people want to
Yes.
walk on them, and then in the winter, people, and also just from keeping the trails
Yeah.
cleared for the
Plowed.
stewards and plowed, that they can do that. and also so that they can ski without obstruction. So that's the first order of business,
Yes.
and then we'll need to talk about if they, can you just reach out and ask if they plan to continue doing this, so then we know whether or not we need to discuss it further. That would be
Can do.
good. And
That'd be
then
fine.
Great.
think about what you guys want to do. Okay. All right, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, otherwise known as FERC. Update on First Light relicensing. I went to the in-person hearing a couple of weeks ago. Was very disappointed. The in-person hearing was not in front of others. It was, we were taken.
That's one at GCC?
Yep. We were taken as individuals into a room where we got to speak to someone who had nothing to do with FERC, but they were recording our comments and they were going to be transcribed.
Wow.
So generally
Like an app.
and that was why there was that huge article on the
Yeah.
front page of the Recorder, was because everybody walked in thinking, I'm going to be sitting with a bunch of other people and I want to hear what their comments are. That did not take place. The only way that it took place was that one of the employees of the Connecticut River Conservancy was at both sessions, and she organized people who were attending to make sure that they were sharing their comments with each other informally. And also, we did get to speak to some FERC representatives, and so I expressed my concern about this really is not what we think of as in person. And the other comment, I was just talking to somebody else today who was at the hearing, and
It's like a deposition you were taking.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it's
really,
crazy.
it was basically that, which we have the opportunity to submit everything in writing anyway. So I was like, all right, I drove all the way to GCC, walked across the enormous parking lot in this heat,
That was kind of a
only
waste.
to just sit in front of somebody who was recording my comments. So my first comment out of my mouth was, not really appreciating this format. This wasn't what I expected. And when we've done anything else, we like to hear what other people are saying, particularly people from the region. And we like to know that it's being addressed to other people.
Do you think they did that on purpose?
I have no idea. I'm not,
That was
I can't
interesting
even-
because usually you'd
I've
want,
never.
to be efficient, you would talk to a group of people all together. And
Well, and you would also recognize that it's the, for lack of a better term, ceremonial and aspect of it that people, Mass DEP has been, I think, a model in terms of their hearing. I've spoken to Mass DEP on this topic for their hearings. I've done it on Zoom and I've done it in person with both information sessions and public hearings. And there are officials from Mass DEP who are listening to everybody, and everybody else on the Zoom meeting or the in-person session could hear what was being said by everybody else. So I'm just expressing my disappointment with that. I did that officially. And we need to submit, anyone can submit, but I will be submitting it on behalf of the town and the Historical Commission, submitting comments by August 28th. Those are comments in writing. For those folks who need more information and want to understand the topic better and where we're actually at in this multi-year process, the Connecticut River Conservancy, otherwise known as CRC, and their website is ctriver.org. They will be doing an information session on August 13th, and they will explain what's going on, and then they will also explain how to submit written comments. So I'll look at posting that so people are aware. So that's where we're at on that, and I'm just going to point out for the board and everybody else at home that this is actually the last year of a multi-year process, and based on the comments that are being submitted and all of the information that's being submitted by the 28th, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission will then make a decision on the 50-year license for First Light. So
make your comments known.
make your comments known. This is really the last year, and this is the last milestone in the last year. So for folks who've kind of lost track because it's the summer, it's been multiple years, this is really still an important point at which to voice concerns. Okay, we handled citizens' concerns. We don't have any topics under the 48-hour rule. Committee and board appointments, unfortunately, we have to, I need a motion to accept the resignation with extreme regret of Michael Berry from the Conservation Commission. Mike has been on the Conservation Commission for 19 years, and unfortunately, given his new role with the state, he's in conflict with the being on a town conservation commission and needs to withdraw.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye,
Okay.
Aye.
with regret.
With deep regret, because his expertise has been,
But good for him, though.
yeah.
It is.
Well, he's a valuable employee to the state, and we wish him well. Okay, announcements, hazardous and bulky waste events coming up. Is this going to be on the website too?
It usually is.
Yes, put a sheet in there.
I gave it to him.
I'm looking at it, she handed it right over here.
When it gets a little bit closer.
As we get closer, so this looks like
Alerting people.
we're alerting people.
It's coming up.
Summer's ending.
Get your bulky waste ready.
Get your bulky waste ready
It's on the calendar already.
when you're not sweating in hot and humid weather. It'll be on the calendar. Residents and businesses must pre-register by September 10th for the annual Household Hazardous Waste Collection Day. So this is really a save the date.
Does
For-
it say where?
Yeah, for the Fall Clean Sweep Bulky Waste Recycling Day, 3 collection locations on Saturday, October 18th. Irving Highway Garage, Mohawk Trail Regional School, and the Whately Transfer Station. So the closest to us would be the Irving Highway Garage on Public Works Boulevard off of Route 2. And then anybody who wants low-cost compost bins and pails, those will be available as well. Okay, more info on the website. And I just also wanted to point out that we have a 3-town meeting next Thursday. August 7th, and the 6-town organization will be speaking at that for those who are interested, and there will be opportunity for public comments and questions. I'm going, I have it on my calendar. Are you guys, we're gonna have,
Yeah, usually there.
I
Okay.
believe I will be there.
good.
I think we had a quorum. We had the most people there the last time.
Yeah, we've really gotten into a groove, I think, with Jane's leadership. Okay, recognition for service. We already talked about the fire. Anything else that you guys want to shout out? Oh, one little shout out for Jim Whitcomb
Yes.
and Frank Froment for standing out in the hot sun on Saturday while the fire was going on.
From 10 to 2.
From 10 to 2, collecting cans and bottles with big smiles on their faces. So they were featured in the police department's Facebook page, and I think it was like at 11 or something like that, and they're standing there smiling. I saw them just before 2 when they were closing. They were still smiling.
Really?
They had a very successful first run at this. They were really excited, and they got a few donations as well for the Friends of Senior Center. So
Good.
shout out to those 2 guys for making it happen. Anything else? No?
No.
Okay. Executive session. So we are going to move to executive session. Motion to the effect of Massachusetts, under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, A6, Emergency Services Location for the purposes of real estate, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real estate, and the chair is declaring that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body, and we are not to return to public session. So moved?
So moved. Dan Campbell, so moved.
Second?
Second?
Dan Campbell, so we need to roll call, so we'll start
Dan
with you.
Campbell says yes.
Dave McCarthy, yes.
B says yes. We are adjourned into executive session, not to return to public. Thank you, Tyler. Okay.
Two signatures on that.